in the lower lobby of the foyer of the new Northwest Tower Science Building. One of the things that makes you glad to be a Columbian is that they've taken a good deal of trouble to put magnificent stonework along the floors and the walls of this new building. It's not just some cheesy linoleum that they put on the floor and some concrete on the walls. This is magnificent stuff, which we see behind me in this panel here. When we have plate tectonics causing continents to play bumper cars with one another, and deformation, subduction, mountain building results from those, rocks which at the surface, like the limestones that we've seen in many of the building facades, are brittle at the surface where they're deposited and lithified, but when they're buried beneath sufficient material and subjected to the pressure of burial and become warm, their response to deformation is no longer the brittle fracture and the grinding and crushing of rocks against one another. What you see behind me here on this panel is what used to be a limestone, rather like the stuff that we see in the building facades of many of the Meade McKimmon White buildings. But in this case, it was somewhat dirtier. There was mud involved in the deposition, so it wasn't just carbonate. And the carbonate, which are the white bands, is distinguishable from the layers which were richer in mud, which have now been reconstituted as calcium silicate minerals, which have generally this greenish hue. The point of this is to show you that the deformation is not accommodated through fracturing and faulting and brittle crunching. It's flowing like a plastic, and this shows you the streamlines of the flow as the bumper cars of the continents smashed together at some period in the distant past. It's been excavated and cut and polished to reveal this. And one thing that you can see is that there's a range of contrast in the stiffness of the material as it responds. The areas that are rich in silicate are considerably stronger than the whitish bands that are carbonate. Where the carbonate is flowing freely as a plastic, the silicate is breaking up and deforming in a semi-crunchy manner. So you can consider this as a heterogeneous medium, like crunchy peanut butter, with the smooth stuff flowing and the chunks remaining more or less as brittle chunks rotating along in the flow field.